Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. You are catching me right in the middle of my 8, 9, 10 sale. So today is the 9th. Hopefully, fingers crossed that this posts on the day. It's not the 9th as I'm talking. But on the 9th, the sale from Stampin' Up! On all of the last chance items, and it's a good sale. There's some really good bargains to be had. It starts on the 9th. So you can go to my channel. If you're not on my email list, subscribe to that, and then you'll always be up to date. And over the 9th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I'm sending the list again of all of the retired things and the sale prices, so that way you'll have them. I try to keep everybody on my email list completely informed about everything, so sign up for that. But on the 9th, we have all of the great bargains. So also on the 10th, the reason the 10th is part of it, one, I wanted to give you more days to get all of my bonus gifts. So if you purchase from me 8th through the 10th, you're going to get my regular thank you gifts, and then I have some really cool extras that you can get if you purchase over the sale days. So that's the gist of the 8th, 9th, 10th, but the 9th the sale starts, and then the 10th is the last day that you can subscribe, or if you're already in Card Club, the 10th is always the last day that we can add things. So this month, if you're in Card Club, you can add Comforting Thoughts or Encircled in Nature. So I'm going to show you another way to use those today. It's not a Card Club card, but you will have all of the things that you need to make it pretty much if you get them. So my Card Club is online. We do 6 cards together. We do 3 designs, and so you get 2 of each. You get the envelopes. This is the first one that is. This is a Card Club project. I'm not going to take the time to untie it. If you go watch this video, it will show you everything about Card Club. Every month they get a pack of paper of some kind of designer series paper, a full thing of embellishments, and a full spool or some kind of ribbon. You know, our ribbon comes differently. And that's most months. Some months I mix it up a little bit, but for the most part, that's it. So this month they're getting a half a pack of the Meandering Meadows. Then they're getting the 4 Tinsel Gems and the Pecan Pie striped ribbon, which I'm not using the ribbon on today's card, but this paper is beautiful. And then they can add the stamp set if they want. I pay shipping, handling, and tax for them as a perk. Or they can substitute something they already have, because I know a lot of them have stamped for a long time and they have things that will work. Then this particular month in April, everybody in Card Club is going to get a sample size of each of the new colors of cardstock. So that's just a little bonus. I like to give bonuses. They also got a discount on top of the early bird pricing if they did the Try It class. So you can go to these 2 videos. They're both new things in the catalog, and you can learn more about my Try It class. The early bird has ended. That was the 8th part of the sale. But as long as there's space, it will be open. The registration for that's open till the 29th. It's an online class. So let's do today's card. I want to tell you that the inspiration for the actual stamping part of this card is if you go to the Stampin' Up! Officials website. I think it was an artisan that did the one little thing that I'm going to do. So I just have vanilla. I have a half a sheet and then a quarter sheet. And then this I've run through my die machine with one of the deckled circles. So that's the paper for this. So let's do the stamping, and then we will do all of the cutting. So this is the part that I was highly inspired. It was a beautiful card. Theirs is a bit different, and in fact, I don't even remember what the end card looked like. I just remembered that they did this with the tips of the trees. I think it's in a larger circle, but I wouldn't swear to it because I saw it and I made a mental note, and then I haven't gone back to look at it. So I've taken the single tree out of Encircled in Nature. This would probably work with other pine trees that you have as well. And I'm going to try to just ink the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about down to the 6th. Once you ink it once, then it'll be easier to see where you want to ink it. And I'm going to do one here. You're going to ink it every time. If you want to get super fancy, you can do it with the markers like we did the other card. So your stem or trunk is brown in these. So we did those 2 across from each other. Each time I'm just inking right about to that same line. It's kind of like cutting a pie. So now we have 4. And now we're going to get, look, that looks like a baseball. Who knew? I should have done a baseball card with this. So then our stamps can be so versatile. Now we're just going to go in the halves of all of those halves. And just fill it in. It's kind of relaxing. And the Comforting Thoughts stamp set is one of those that sometimes you just need to send it to a friend or a family member who needs some inspiration. So this is the bulk of it. Now I'm going to ink a little bit, one less lower, so these are a little bit smaller, and fit those in between. And you don't want them to be even, because if they're even, all it takes is for one to not be even, and the whole thing will look bad. As long as you're doing them kind of organically, then the effect will be the same. Let's just pop these in here. And then we have our medallion for our card. So now I wanted to put some of the words from the Comforting Thoughts. Where'd I put it? Stamp set on it. But if you notice, most of them are not the right shape. This one kind of would be, but you'd have to lose some of the trees. And this is the cool part. Isn't that cool? That was a great idea. So I pulled out one of these, but again, they were long and they were going to go over the tips of the trees. And I didn't want to lose the words. So I took the Healing Peace Rest and grab yourself. I didn't clean this off before I last did it. Grab yourself some washi tape if you have washi tape, or just some sticky tape or some masking tape. It's one of those words. It takes me a minute. I think in America we say masking tape, right? Scotch tape. In Australia they call it sticky tape, which I always feel like I would say that for a child. So I'm going to cover up all of the words there. So all I have is healing. And then let's grab the Balmy Blue. We're going to use these in a second as well. So you're going to ink up, and there's no point in putting it here and getting it all over your washi tape because you'll just get it on your hands. So just ink up the part that says healing. But if it's gone over at all, then when you lift this up, it's not going to be on your stamp. Then let's stamp this here. Now I'm going to clean this off. These are nice light colors, so that helps. And then I'm going to take, cover up right next to the last one, which is rest. Because it's easier if you're doing three things to do the top and the bottom and then center the third one. Or if you're going across a line like that. Because if I centered this, they might all be too high. This way I can make it hit. So again, just do the part that's close to, but this is protecting anything right next to. Pull that washi tape off. And now I can put it down here. And then for the last one, you're going to need two pieces, or you could probably tear this in half. We'll see. No. Because I'm going to go with the strongest color, I want to make sure everything that's covered up needs to be covered up. So stick this there. We're going to do spruce for our last one. Just get a little piece over here. Sometimes there's washi tape still in our kits. I don't know if there's a current kit that has it. I just always keep my spare because even if I'm not using it for something pretty, it comes in super handy for stuff like this. You can even use it to hold your dies down if you like to do it that way. So see, I've got this. You could do this, and then when you pull this off, you are guaranteed to get shaded spruce. No, pretty peacock. I'm sorry, I switched colors. You're guaranteed to get it all over your fingers. So just aim for the part that you know that you want ink on. So I want the piece. So now I've just got a tiny bit of the peacock, and even then it can be dangerous because it's on this washi tape, which doesn't dry very quickly. And then now, since we have those two, we can line this right up in the middle. And now they're all matched up. So the paper that I'm using for this one out of the Meandering Meadows is this piece. So you can see I did this on my other card that we've already done for Card Club. I want this to have the feeling that it kind of goes with it, and that's really easy to do. I'm just going to take my Fresh Freesia, which is the color I just stamped in. And you can see how the clouds are on this. I'm just going to replicate that. And if you stamp first, then you won't stamp that color right over the top and make it harder to read. So with a little bit of Fresh Freesia. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Balmy Blue. And you can see I'm not using the blending brush in the typical way, kind of lay it on its side, because we want to recreate those cloud lines. And now when you put it on here, it's not as stark and white or vanilla as it was before, and it looks like it kind of goes with that same color scheme. So now here's the really fun part of this card. We are going to trim down this one piece of paper and use this new folder, and yes, you can tell it is a giant folder. It's huge. You could do this whole sheet at once, which I did think about doing it. I like the circle theme because this was circles, so I want to keep the circle theme. So on a different card, you might push this all the way through and then cut it apart second. I'm going to do it opposite. So I have the 6x6 because that's the size this paper comes in. And I want the whole card. I want all of this to be on it because it's beautiful, right? But now we have to decide, do we want to lose the water or the sky? So I am going to, and which side? Do we want the one tiny tree or the one big tree? Well, I know that my design is going to go across the middle of the card. So sometimes you can just kind of take a scrap piece of paper or your hand. So if I do this side, I'm not going to see any of that tree. I'm just going to see flowers, which, you know, you could do that. It's still going to be pretty. But so I'd rather have this. And then I want to keep the sky because I just did this to match. So I'm going to lose a ½ inch of this. Sometimes we put it in there and we cut and we're like, oh, you see what's left on your paper trimmer and you're like, that's the piece I really wanted to be on there. And then I want it to be 3 inches. No, the other one I did 4 inches. I tried 2 3/4. And then you can look at both my cards and decide which one you want best. If you want to see more of the background or if you want to see more of the background of the actual card. So this is going to give us our scene, which now leaves us with this piece, which is way bigger than what I need. On the other one, it was 2 inches, but now I want this to be smaller. So I am going to do, let's do 1½ inches. And then I'm going to leave this full size. I only need it to be the size of this, but I want to be able to move it in the circles, which you'll see what I mean in a second. So let's put all these pieces through our die. This is called the Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder, and here's a ½ sheet of cardstock, so you can tell it will do a ½ sheet of cardstock. They're big, and there's really no way in the catalog, they're not marked to say how big they are, so either you can be surprised, like me, when you get it, and you're like, what the heck is this? Or you can watch some of my videos, because eventually I'll have them all. So put this in here, and what you want to do is try to have the center of your card hit that center circle. So this one, and it doesn't have to be perfect because there's enough going on this card that nobody would notice if it wasn't. But here's this, so I'm going to put this piece through and wait till you see how pretty it is. You just need the gray plate. The nice thing is you can do a ½ sheet of cardstock. On this one, it wouldn't work quite as well as some of the other ones because when you cut it in half, they're not going to have whole circles. But you can do that. You can also use them for scrapbooking if you want to do a panel. Oh, look how fabulous this is. Is that not fabulous? I was tempted to put some sponging on top of the dots to kind of pull them out a little bit more. But this is a thinking of you card for somebody who might be having a hard time. So I didn't want it to be too much. I just wanted to kind of keep it simple. Now, again, on this one, we are going to aim at our circles right here in the middle. That's pretty good. And push it over just a fraction. Oh, that just made it crooked. You could run all of them through at the same time, but here's what would happen, which you will notice in just a second. It already almost bust through the paper because it's a designer series paper with a 3D embossing folder. So you get this beautiful, beautiful poked out stuff, but it will poke through lighter ones, not all the way. It kind of just makes this one look kind of vintage. See what I mean? But if you did them all at once, it would poke through those. Now I'm going to take this one and I am going to do it upside down. The first time I did not, so it's another little switch that I'm doing from the first card. And again, right through the center, but this will give us room to move it on here so it's centered. Down just a fraction, and it's a little bit crooked. You know what, sometimes your embossing folders have a little bit of static. Mine has some static today. See, it's not centered because if it was this, oh, well, I cut 5.5, isn't it? But this, we're going to be able to trim this. That's why I left it a little bit longer. And I want my dots to go the other direction because we're going to flip this one over. So now we have dots going this way as opposed to that way. So it's just a fun little twist on that. Okay, now we just have to put this together. So we have a half a sheet of white. You needed to have a false front so you could run that piece through. Although with this one, I guess if you want to do the whole card, you could do the whole card and have all of your cards be embossed. Maybe I'll try that on a card. But again, it wouldn't work on this one because of the circles. So let's add this. And our false front. And always use an adhesive that will move. This seal will move. I don't push down until I make sure everything's lined up perfectly. And then here. Now you want to be careful on this that you don't smush these back down. So I'm going to put my adhesive over here. And I know this is going to go all the way through. I really hate to cover up that beautiful embossing. And just put this right in the middle, and they should line up. Nobody's going to take the time to make sure that they line up, but look, they're pretty good as long as you're aiming for that to be your middle. And then this, I need, it will go just about here. And for it, I'm just going to first add this, and then I'm just going to take my snips. That one, and then this one. This one's not as important because we're going to put our banner over here. So once you have that on there where you need to be, add a little bit more there. Now let's take this. We're just going to kind of off-center it from the, you know, you could put this here too if you want. It's not on my other card. I kind of like that. So let's just add it. It's not exactly in the right spot. So if you want that on yours, you wouldn't have to trim this first part. So the circles go this way. And just get it so I want the bigger circles to be out there where you can be seen. And again, they don't match up, but nobody's gonna, well, maybe you have people. If they're those kind of people, don't send them cards like this. Nobody needs to check your work. I'm just going to take my dimensionals. Now, like I said, in Card Club this month, they do get the pecan pie ribbon, but I'm not putting it on here. Sometimes with Sympathy cards, a little bit of less is more. So I'll just put this here. I'm going to do it. So see how that kind of goes around those? And there's not enough here that anybody's going to tell that I cut that apart. So just move yours over if you want to do that. I am going to use the embellishments they get this month. So this is the Tinsel Gems in the 4-pack. And look, all of the colors work. So on my other one, I have the pink. On this one, let's do the blue. So I did 5. And the first thing I did was I did 3 of the big ones. And I just put them on top of circles. This size fits this circle really well. Let's do there. And then I took the 2 little ones because you want an odd number. And I added those to my medallion. Then I would, if I wasn't trying to do so much stuff today, I would stamp the inside. I would make a whole little forest of trees along the bottom. And then there is, you can do, so we did the healing piece, rest. You can do I'm here for you, we're here for you, you're not alone. You can do this. Or you could do something like I have lots of love to give. Or there is no good card for this. It just kind of depends on why you're sending it, right? But do stamp some of the trees along the bottom. So there's this one. Here's this one. It's a little bit different. So on this one, you can see I popped these up, and I felt like going the other direction, you might see a little less of the vanilla, which happened. This one's wider. This one has more of this. This one has more white showing. So it's just it kind of would work with whatever size of paper you have left if you're using scraps. I think it's really pretty, and because the circles all kind of pull it together, it works. So if you're interested in my card club, go to my website. If you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link down below this video that you can click on, or just go to my website and sign up for my email, and then you'll always know what's going on. Everybody have a great one. Bye.